following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
It's still real to me, damn it!
It might be.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk About That on episode 108 here at Top Row Rounding. I'm Mike Hogan.
And I'm just a cutter.
And let's talk about the tournament. We're down to the semifinals here. We got two in the Justin Carter bracket. We got two in the Mike Hogan brackets. And we're going to spin this wheel to see who goes into the finals.
Special note about the finals.
Go ahead.
The special note about this finals, it will be a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Yes.
2 out of 3 falls. We haven't done that ever in our tournament.
First time ever.
As
So
Jericho
go ahead,
likes
let's
to
go
say.
ahead and Pierre and spin that wheel. Let's see who
Kurt
goes
Angle
in.
versus Sting. AJ Styles versus Austin Aries. We're spinning. We're spinning. We're
Who's going to be the first one in the finals?
We're spinning. We're spinning.
Number one seed, Kurt Angle is
just
in.
beat Sting in the Justin Carter bracket. Kurt Angle moves on, so now he must find out, will it be AJ Styles or Austin Aries for the Mike Hogan bracket?
Spin it! I'll just hit on the Sting hits, he would have spin it again, so.
We'll land on Sting every time, it will be very funny.
Well, that's on Sting, only land on Sting once he can disappear.
That's true, I forgot about that. AJ Styles! No! Never mind. False alarm. May not be AJ Styles after all.
I'm not jumping like that for.
I felt like there was a jump there. It's rigged!
Fine, get Sting out of the way anyway, good.
It's AJ versus Aries. Who will it be? We're right here. Yellow or white? Yellow or white? Yellow or white? I think we're going with white here. Oh, what an upset! That's an upset!
It is an upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, even though they're 1 and 2, but Austin Aries under the Mike Hogan bracket has just beat AJ Styles. So next week, we now get Kurt Angle, #1 seed from the Justin Carter bracket, taking on the #2 seed of the Mike Hogan bracket, Austin Aries, in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Yes. Who can come away with 2 wins?
Who will come away 2 out of 3? That's actually very shocking. Sting and AJ. That's the luck of the draw at this point. The luck of the spin.
It is. Because it could have been anything.
That's true.
I like it.
I do like it.
Now let's go ahead and talk about the thumbs up and thumbs down. You know, the rumors have been going around with the WWE looking to bring back former stars.
People, that's
which,
true.
hey, we got rumored right now it's going to be Tajiri. He's already signed a deal, which is good. And we got 20 here. We're going to go over who could come back. They could probably bring them all back.
Right.
And we're going to say if we believe that they should be back or nah, don't waste your time with them.
That's true. So let's find out. We have 20 right here, like you said. So number 20 is Chris Masters. Thumbs up or thumbs down? I'm going to give a big fat thumbs down.
You don't see the Master Lock anymore.
Well, I mean, that's just... I think the WWE has passed him by. I like his character. I like his look.
Right.
Even though he had to lose a bunch of weight because of the steroids. But I don't think he fits in with the direction they're going and the style they're going. I don't think he can really keep up with that fast pace of. Can you see him going against AJ Styles?
No.
Could you see him going against Kevin Owens and having a good match?
Probably not, no.
Could you see him facing Sami Zayn and having a great match?
We're not having a great match. He's just there to get.
I don't care, but he's still got to make them look good. And if he can't keep up with them, I'm just saying he has that bigger style to him, that broader look to him, and I don't think he has that fast-paced mentality to be able to do matches with those kind of guys.
Okay, you convinced me.
I'm just saying, thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Thumbs down from Mr. Masters.
And number 19, we have Super, and he's crazy. He is super crazy.
He needs to lose some weight, too.
Well, he's always been bigger.
Yeah.
He's been a cruiserweight style guy all his wrestling career. He's always been a little thicker than the rest. But I would say that if he is in tip-top shape, that if we've got someone like Tajiri, it would not bother me to see him as a jobber.
They're always going to be pretty much DVD job.
Well,
anyway.
I don't agree with that totally. I don't think they should lose every week like the Dudley Boys are doing.
No, but they should.
They're going to put over guys, I get that. But I'm just saying, I think Super Crazy would even be, just
well,
be
he will be a jobber.
He
He will be a jobber.
He was a jobber the whole time anyway.
Because beating him, like beating Chris Masters, wouldn't matter. Doesn't matter. You don't need so. I say thumbs down for Super Crazy.
I mean, I could take him or leave him, so I would say thumbs down for that either way. The next one never really got her just due in the WWE, and number 18 is Katelyn Birchall.
I would like to see her come back. I'll give her a thumbs up. I mean, that would help the women's division.
I say take off the last name because that was just a stupid gimmick of the incest thing. Yeah. Just call her Katie Lee.
Katie Lee's fine.
And I think she's a good wrestler. I think she would definitely work well. She would be able to beef up the women's division. Just like someone like a Molly Hollywood.
Yep.
She's that type of style, like that old school style that I think she's not a diva, she's a wrestler.
Right.
But she never got her chance.
No, she's at the wrong time.
Yes, the wrong era, if you will.
Yes.
Up next is number 17. What do you think about Carlito?
I want to see Carlito do that.
I think that's the only thing that will save the Princes of Puerto Rico, whatever their name is.
The Shining Stars.
The Shining Stars. I think Princes of Puerto Rico would be better. The Shining Stars of Puerto Rico. Make it a 6-man tag. Boom, right there.
Another one.
Another one. We need. Hey, that's another title to bring about. Like they need more of those.
Yeah, they don't need no more.
Number 16.
Nunzio. No, sorry.
He came back as a referee at one point. If they're going to do that, he can be a referee, but I don't care about him wrestling.
Nope.
So no, I'm not good with that. Number 15 is Joey Mercury. Let him stay behind the scenes teaching.
I say go back to wrestle now.
He doesn't need to wrestle. I say let him teach the young people behind the scenes because I think he's one of those that are educated beyond their years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He came in at a certain time where ECW was still around. So he's
a good
educated.
teacher.
He's a very good teacher person.
Don't want to see him out there. Sorry.
But no, it doesn't. He doesn't add to the product, in my opinion. This next one definitely doesn't add to the product. Number 14. What do you think about Person Watson?
I mean, yeah, he was okay when he was around, but they got rid of him for a reason. Why bring him back? I don't see you want to bring him back.
And see, here's the thing. Like I never understood why they put Darren and Titus together because down in developmental, it was actually Percy Watson and Darren Young that were a tag team. They were like the South Beach Boys or something like that. They had that kind of gimmick going, and he had the big, stupid glasses and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he had the big, stupid glasses on. That's all I remember him for, being red glasses. Other than that, can't tell you nothing about it.
Nothing really stood out except for that. So the way I look at it is that's not going to add anything to the product, so I say thumbs down on that one, too. Up next is number 13, and that is Low-Key, also known in WWE as Kaval. What do you think about him?
I don't think he would come back.
I think that's a lot of sour grapes.
I think, a lot of sour burn bridges, a lot of bad grapes. But if he did, he would put on some good matches. Him and AJ Styles, him and Sami Zayn. I mean, they would put on good matches. And
I don't think I would want to main roster.
And knowing the name, beating him would help you some,
I would rather him be in NXT though.
Yeah, that would be a good place for him. A lot of people I could see in NXT.
I would rather see Low-Key wrestling young guys down on the developmental in NXT. I think that would help them guys a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, like you said, there's a lot of sour grapes. There's a lot of burnt bridges there where he didn't feel like he was used correctly, so I don't see the point in him even coming back.
No.
Up next is number 12, Mr. Stevie Richards.
We saw him at the Ring of Honor show.
He's still in great shape.
He is still in great shape.
And he right now works for DDP full-time at the DDP Yoga Performance Center as a yoga instructor.
Now, being a name coming up, be fine. He'd come up as a manager on the main roster. He could wrestle in NXT. I mean, Richards can go anywhere and still stick out a little bit because of the way he was, the way he acts and stuff.
Right.
I mean, he is a name. He's a top guy. He's a veteran.
Yes.
And some of these guys get a win over Stevie. Will be okay, but I wouldn't have for the long haul.
Here's the thing, the way I look at it, because
it's like Tommy Dreamer.
Think about this though. Think about this. when they pull up, when they have two separate rosters, and they pull up all these wrestlers, they're not just going to have the wrestlers pulled up, because when you have more show to produce, you're going to have Raw agents, you're going to have SmackDown agents. So
Hopefully.
that means, yes. So that means you're going to need more agents, or what they call producers, on each show to cover all your bases.
Right.
So I think people like an Adam Pearce and some of those guys will call up as an agent. So that leaves room in NXT for agents. And I think Stevie Richards would be a great addition behind the scenes in NXT as an agent, producer of a match or whatever. But yeah, I could see people like even, I don't know how they break it down there, because, they have trainers like Norman Smiley and Robbie Brookside there, but they also have agents, and the only main one I know is Adam Pearce. So are the trainers also agents? So
I would think so.
So would a Norman Smiley come up to a SmackDown and be a agent as well? I don't know. I don't know how it's all going to break down.
No.
But they're going to have to promote agents and bring in, even maybe come in and have, because obviously Joey Mercury's already doing that.
Yeah.
But they may need people like, somebody we're about to talk about in a minute, who would work well for that. We'll get to that in a minute, but let's go to number 11, who is Zach Gowen. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not saying anything ill against him, but he's a novelty act.
He was on the American Ninja Warrior the night,
Which is great.
And got a good plug for the WWE. And Vince McMahon. They said
Vince McMahon. He worked.
He wrestled. Said he wrestled Vince McMahon.
I'm not saying that he's.
Gregor Irons was on the outside there. But
I'm not saying anything rude about it. But the way that WWE used him, they used him as a novelty act.
They did.
To where he could only be used for a short amount of time until he wore out his welcome, and they didn't need the one-legged guy.
He also can be a trainer too. I mean, he can show people, you're complaining, you got two legs on here and one leg can do,
That's true, but on-screen talent, I don't see it happening, so I give that a big thumbs down. And number 10 is the lady who they say had more heat than Lana and Sunny combined.
Which is surprising.
And that's a lot. The lady that is with John Morrison, but instead wanted to be with Batista, and that is Melina. And I say, no.
I mean,
she was good while she was there.
Yeah, hadn't seen anything, her do anything.
The last thing she did like one episode of Lucha Underground, and they replaced her in her position. Because she was, they say she was being a prima donna.
Oh, yeah.
In that case, you don't want someone around like that. And this next one is who I was talking about that could come up, go straight to the main roster as an agent or be down there, replace agents that get popped up from NXT. And that is number 9, who is Brian Kendrick.
Well, he also could wrestle some.
He can. He could be like Tajiri and wrestle some, but I could see him being a guy that wrestles but's also an agent. Or is training to be an agent while he wrestles and puts people over.
Yeah, because would he be in a major storyline?
No. And he's already been on there, and he's already jobbed people. He's jobbed people on NXT before.
Yeah.
Remember when they brought Rhino in? They brought Kendrick in around the same time.
Yeah.
So we know that he can still go. He's on the Cruiserweight Classic. So I think it would be a great addition to the NXT roster. I don't want to see him on the main roster.
No.
There's no need for it.
Not if they brought the number 8 back and put him back together, which is Paul London. Yes, but that's a big old.
That's a big old if on that one.
That's a big old Grand Canyon on that one. So
that's a huge amount of sour grapes on that one.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever bring Paul London back. You never say never in this business, but Vince McMahon says that money talks, and so he'll bring people back that don't like him. He'll bring people back like Hogan and Warrior who didn't like him or whatever. But Triple H,
Bischoff.
Yeah, but Triple H is a whole other story, and he's burned bridges with Triple H. And made fun of the Undertaker. So you may not want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So,
but if they both got them to come back, I'd rather see them as a tag team again.
Well, of course, they'd be a great tag team to put over other tag teams like the Dudley Boys are doing.
Yeah, but as singles,
not really. But Kendrick as a single,
they would not gain. It wouldn't bring anything too much to the show.
Kendrick as a single, just jobbing to guys on NXT while he trains to become an agent. I'm fine with that. But not long term. He doesn't have to be on the show that long. This one I don't see happening anytime soon, but number 7 is Damien Sandow.
He should have been released.
Never. But he said he understood and that he felt like he could not go any further with the gimmick. And I get that. I understand that point. And he said it's a TV show with revolving characters and they needed time for other people on the show. I understand that. And he spoke very educated when he said it. And I understand where he was coming from.
Will he come back? Of course he'd come back.
I can see him doing a different character because I think the Sandow thing is outdone for sure. I think they did get all the miles they could out of it.
Yeah. Number 6 is Devouring.
Well, while his brother, which we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Just to give that away to you, he's in the Cruiserweight Classic. I can see that opening up a door.
Yeah, I know.
For talks.
NXT.
To see about Devouring coming in NXT. I think he might be a great trainer too.
Yeah, and then be a manager for somebody.
He could do the manager thing like he used to do. I mean, to me, that was when I actually liked Mark Henry. I enjoyed Mark Henry when Devouring was his manager.
Yes, I know.
You can't really enjoy Great Khali when he's with anybody, but that helped Great Khali being with Devouring. Ranjan Singh, not so much.
Yes. Now we got these last 5 here. These are pretty good.
These are very good ones because number 5 is Mr. MVP Montavious Portland.
He can come in and go. He can go right to the main roster.
He can go right to the main roster. He can actually have storylines. He could be like a Jericho and have storylines with guys, and I think that he would do well and actually win matches.
But I would see him on SmackDown.
He was a SmackDown guy when he was there, and I think he would be better for the blue brand, if you will.
Yes.
But yes, I mean, I like MVP, and clearly he got himself pulled out of a contract, so clearly he's open and available because he screwed himself over in Lucha Underground.
Which is very weird.
That was the stupidest thing. Y'all can't do interviews about Lucha Underground, even though you're with Lucha Underground. You can't talk about Lucha Underground to put Lucha Underground over to the fans so they'll watch more. So you don't interview about Lucha Underground.
But since you did, you're fired. You broke contract. What?
But they didn't fire the guys that did the interview. They just fired him. Interesting stuff, but number 4 is the women wrestlers of all women wrestlers.
Yes.
If you will, because Moolah's no longer around.
Nope.
But this is our generation Moolah, if you will.
Yes, it is.
It really is. And ladies and gentlemen, that is, will we see the return of Stratusfaction with Trish Stratus?
If we did, she would become the WWE Women's Champion for a short run.
Yes, if they gave it to dadgum Mae Young, they'll give it to her. I mean, my gosh, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I don't remember Mae Young even win the belt. She may have, her and Moolah may, I don't know. But they did let, it would shock me, but they let Mae Young wrestle across like frickin' 9 different decades or something like that before she died. Remember she had that match with Michelle McCool and Layla or whatever?
Yes.
And they said that she was the only person to ever wrestle in that many decades.
Yeah, at least one match, yeah.
At least one match in every decade. They were trying to give her a record before she passed away, which is pretty awesome. But I can see Trish coming in, winning the belts.
Oh, yeah. For a short period of time, yeah. Kind of passing the torch, if you say. She'd win it and pass the torch to somebody else.
Exactly. But, I mean, she talked about coming back, and she talked about people she wanted to work with. So, the talk is out there.
And she can be heel or face, so that works out either way, so. And number 3 is RVD, Rob Van Dam. Good SmackDown dude. Give him a short term, 6 months.
Yeah, he's been there before. Give him a little while. And, I don't know. I mean, I could take him or leave him, really.
Yeah.
This next one, they've been talking big time about him.
I think it's a one-match deal.
I hope it is. Because really and truly, if you do more than one match with this guy, it's going to take the luster away from it, if you will. And that is Mr. Bill Goldberg.
Now, he may start at Royal Rumble, but you won't see him again until WrestleMania. He'll pull kind of a Brock Lesnar thing here.
Speaking of Brock Lesnar, because that's who he's going to freaking face, which is so stupid. That's a bad idea.
That's a bad idea.
I mean, why revisit something that was horrible 10 or so years ago? It was a bad idea then. It's a bad idea now. With the number 1, so we give thumbs up on Goldberg.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
So MVP, Trish, RVD, Goldberg, and number 1 with a bullet, because this is awesome. And I think he should do at most a 3-match deal.
Yeah.
Do a SummerSlam, do a WrestleMania, whatever. and get a couple of great matches in there before he officially is done wrestling. And he needs to manage the new Angle, Team Angle, whatever they call themselves, which is American Alpha. Ladies and gentlemen, the first one is Kurt Angle. So I am all about him coming back. I wish he would have come back sooner.
I know. But hey.
But all them sour grapes. But I mean, come on. He had to have had a plan in place. He go leave TNA after he's been. He actually. Did you realize he's had a longer run in TNA than he did in WWE?
No.
He was actually there longer.
Holy crap.
Than the WWE.
Well, I'd have lost that trivia question because I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, let's talk about some of the future guys who can be hired on.
Yes. One of them already is, obviously, with Tajiri. But 32 names in the first ever Cruiserweight Classic Tournament. And I love this. Mauro Ranallo, which is pretty darn close, and Daniel Bryan to host the Cruiserweight Classic. That is huge.
I love it.
Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Plus, you're going to have a tournament will premiere on July 13th at 8 p.m. Central Time on the network for only $9.99. So get out there and get your...
Exactly. And the network will also air an exclusive special entitled CWC The Bracketology on July the 6th. The preview show look at what?
Yes, coming up Wednesday.
Wednesday is preview show looking at the unique features of the tournament's various entrants. So we're going to go over the names and try not to butcher them. Too much. So maybe that if you are living under a rock and haven't heard about these guys, that you'll hear about them now.
Yes.
So we have Kita Habushi.
Yes, he
something like that.
I think he's an odds-on favorite to win the thing.
I think he's going to win.
We have Tajiri, who is going to put somebody over, probably, of course.
Right. We have Gran Metalik, some kind of metal something or another.
Metalik, yeah.
He's a Mexican wrestler, it looks like.
We got Zack Sabre Jr. He's also another favorite.
Yes, another favorite. We have Noam Dar. It's pretty darn close.
Yes, and I've seen him. He's pretty exciting.
Yes.
We got Damak.
We've got Mustafa Ali.
Yes, because he replaced Zumba, whatever his name was.
I was wondering how he got in there because I was like, he wasn't one of them.
Because the other dude went over the weight limit, so they said you're out.
Really?
They go strictly 200.
I didn't know who went over I don't know who went over. I didn't see that.
Oh.
Really?
We got Clement Petro,
something like that. It's pretty close.
Like Ross Perot, like a little bit.
Then we have brothers. We have Harv and Garth. That's really close enough.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. And their last name is Sharaha. They're from Bollywood or whatever. So that type of last name that I can't pronounce.
We got Fabian Achemer
or something like that. Then we got, thank goodness, an American name we can pronounce. We've got Brian Kendrick. I hope they call him the Brian Kendrick.
We got Rich Swann.
Because he's already signed. So we know out of the 32, we have 2 of those already signed. Because Rich Swann, he already works at the Performance Center, and Tajiri's now signed. Up next, we have someone who better be signed, because if he ain't, WWE is stupid.
And he dropped the weight to get in there.
He did drop the weight to get in there, and he did a very good job of it. I think he was like right at 200 or somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think it's 205. I thought it says 205.
It may have been 205. I know there was a couple of them that were right at the limit. And he is Cedric Alexander.
That should be another favorite.
He should be.
We got Kiro Tozawa.
I know that part.
Okay.
Yes. Then we have Jack Gallagher, who's another one that is very exciting, and I think he's one of the favorites.
We got Tony Nese. He should be a favorite.
He should be. I think he'll get signed after this. He should get signed. He's a phenomenal athlete.
And we're coming up on 2 of them that already is pretty much signed.
Kind of signed. They're like one of those deals, one of those contracts to where they don't have to be at the Performance Center every day.
No, but if we need you, you're here. We are number 1 priority.
They're top priority.
Yes.
It's kind of like even with I'm surprised he didn't get in it. Cory Hollis that we saw in Ring of
Right,
Honor.
yeah.
Cory Hollis and John Schuyler. They were the ones that jobbed out to the Shining Stars on that first week, the only week they wrestled. But Corey Hollis should have fit into this mold of the 205.
Well, maybe they're waiting.
Maybe they're waiting.
Some more. 32. About You know,
but the two of them, I mean, they kind of have that same contract type thing or whatever, where they come in and work matches, you know, constantly for NXT,
right.
and they even doing the tours and stuff like that. Like they're going to be at the Birmingham show coming up for NXT.
Go ahead now.
What we got?
You got
Johnny Gargano
and Tommaso Ciampa. Yes. Two more favorites.
Which he actually did an interview with WWE.com. And he said that people are saying his last name wrong. He said it rhymes with Tampa. So it's supposed to be Ciampa. Not spelled Ciampa, but it's Tommaso Ciampa. Which the first name I probably just screwed up. But he said it rhymed with Tampa. Tampa Ciampa. That's the only way you could do it.
The I is silent, man.
There you go. The I is silent. And next we have Wait. The Godfather in this tournament?
I wonder.
Ho Lund!
Up next we have T.J. Perkins.
Which used to be Suicide in TNA.
Will that be against him, I wonder?
Hopefully. Drew Gulak.
Drew Galloway.
Not Galloway, Gulak. But he is from Evolve. Which is also where Galloway's at a lot of times.
Yep. Up next is Anthony Bennett.
He looked like he's from Kid and Play. He's the one with the tall head of hair. And he's been training at the Munster Factory, which is a very famous training facility as well. Next, Tyson Dukes. I think it's Dukes.
Ducks or Dukes, yeah. We got Lince Dorado.
Lince Dorado. The E is different, I guess. Lince Dorado. We saw him live against Lucha Underground a couple of years back at the WrestleMania at the Gulf Coast when we interviewed Dr. Tom Pritchard. Plug for Dr. Tom.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Next we have Sean, Malara. I'm good with it.
Okay.
I don't know. That's weird.
Raul Mendoza.
I'm probably thinking
Mendoza.
That one's actually pretty easy. This next one's great. Kenneth Johnson. Of course, I say it's great, and then I'll probably screw it up. But yeah, anyway, Kenneth Johnson.
And then
Alejandro is. That's what I'm thinking.
Looks like Alejandro, don't it?
Alejandro says.
Alejandro says yes.
Sure, why not?
I'm already gonna look at this brackology show on the 6th.
So you can hear names.
Yes, and see faces and get near.
Next, we have Damian Slater, not Damian Sandow. I think they should have just changed the name for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Because it's so close. It's Deanna's. That's not good.
We got Aria Davari.
That's Davari's brother.
Yep.
So I'm just going to call him Davari number 2.
That's Davari's brother.
Exactly. And last but not least, the actor. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who died?
No, he didn't. I'm thinking about Bruce Lee.
No, Jason Lee.
His son's
dead too.
But I'm thinking of somebody else.
He died.
In a filming of a movie too, didn't he?
The Crow, yes.
Yeah. But I'm thinking of somebody. He was on an NBC show, dadgummit. My name is Earl. What was it? It wasn't his name? What was his name?
It's not Jason Lee.
Dadgummit. Messed that one up. I'm going to have to look that up now because I want to know his name. I think it's Jason something. Anyway, Jason Lee.
Something.
Jason Lee is the final
And now
one.
let's go with the 10 possible winners.
10 possible winners for the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yes.
Number 10, Davari's brother.
Number 9, Drew Gulak. Number
8, Tozawa.
Number 7, Ciampa.
Hey-oh, you got it right.
Did it right with Tampa.
That's right. Why did I get this one again? Damn. Number 6, the Mexican wrestler with his last name looks like metal. Metalek.
Number 5, Gnome Dar.
Number 4, Johnny Gargano.
And number 3, Zack Sabre Jr.
Number 2, Rich Swann. I hope they don't give it to him because he's already hired on.
And number 1, Kota Ibushi.
Close to what I thought. Ibushi.
The brackology is going to be a great show for me.
So that is it for Let's Talk About It on Podcast. number 3.
In part 4, we're going to do the 13 biggest matches WWE should have booked in the 80s, but did not. Number 4 this week, folks, is almost over with this one. We're going to pull out that dusty storybook and talk about father and sons who won the same wrestling titles. And plus, we're going to do 2 more times that WWE lied to us, to our faces.
Very conveniently.
Yes. So come on back to part 4, the list.
That does not miss.
I'm Mike Hogan.
I'm just a Carter.
We'll see you in a few clicks.